Alright guys, we're here at Fixmykite.com and we want to show you something. This is a D-Lab Evo and there used to be a rescue handle right here. So this one is being covered under warranty because when they do the stitching around some of them, they do not do a backing on the handle. That weakens the Aluula cloth for sure. It blew out here, right where the handle was stitched. You can see it there, and then it exploded under pressure and it went diagonal across here. That's what tells you how it just exploded. Anyway, we got things taken apart. Going to show you how to repair this. So you definitely want to repair Aluula with Aluula. It definitely is better. There could be other materials, but you really got to stitch them on. So we're going to do an Aluula patch in here, get this all done, and guarantee this for the life of the kite. So we've got it all open. You can see the rip and the tear, and we got the cell removed from the strut because it ripped all the way up to the top. And now I'm going to go in and stabilize this on the back side with small pieces of insignia to stabilize the Aluula so I can get all the alignment of where I'm putting the Aluula. Alright, let's go just stabilize it. Alright, next step. So I've got it stabilized. You can see inside here there's some Dacron tape. This follows the rip. And it comes along here, and it's about right there. Anyway, so everything is kind of stabilized in here. And what I mean by that, it'll stay put, stay flat, so I can do the work. Now I'm going to come in, and I will have Aluula, which follows this nice and clean, so I can get double-sided stitching on both sides of the repair. Clearly, you want to have a minimum of about 1.5 inches, 2 inches on each side of the cut so you can get double row stitching, as it is definitely under high pressure. But this is how I do it, and I've been doing it, and I've guaranteed every single one of them for the life of the kite, so I have never had any issues. So I will do the material, show you that, how to correctly repair Aluula and put it back together. And then I will put on the Aluula. Once I come in here, then I stitch on both sides of it. I have seam tape underneath along with a 3-step zigzag. They have a recommendation of all these little straight stitches. I have done it my way. Again, it's, as I say, it's a recommendation. This is how I do it, and have guaranteed every single one of them for the life of the kite and never had an issue. Anyway, all right, I'll get the Aluula going and show you the next step. Okay, so now that we have the Aluula on there, and when you have it on, it's very hard to see. It's not easy, so there'll be double row stitching on all sides of every cut, so it'll take the full load. But the only way you'll pretty much notice it is that there'll be stitching. It looks good. I'll get this all stitched up. Then I'll stitch the cell back on because it did run into the side up underneath there, so it needed to be reinforced. Once I get it stitched, stitch the cell back on, then I'll go into closing the main seam. But before that, I'll go inside of here and do my best to patch this really nicely blown out leading edge. And because it's not right along a seam, I don't see any problems in being able to seal that up. All right, I want to show a little bit here because a lot of people don't know how to do this. So you get a big blowout. Look at the size of my hand. You can see that's completely blown out. Now, it doesn't go up to the sealed edge here. So I got everything out in the open. Now what you see, if you can see it underneath here, is inside I have a sheet of plastic. You can just get any kind of plastic. It doesn't matter. The goal is to keep the tear aid from sticking to the back side and only stick to this area. But using this plastic piece in here, what I can do now is I'm going to take all this trashed area, which would mess me up on trying to put down a nice, smooth, wide 6-inch strip, and I'm going to trim around this edge and get all this crap out so everything lays perfectly flat. This has all been cleaned with alcohol, will be the final, and then the stick-on. So I'm going to go and do this trim and then come back and show you that right before I work with the tear aid. Okay, so I'm ready. You can see how I have that piece of plastic in there. I can slide it, so it's just down inside of here. And now I've cleaned everything out with good alcohol. I've also dried it, make sure there's no alcohol residue. Then I've cut my patch. Patch is going to lie over it, and I've made indicating marks, alignment marks, where when I start working half this sheet and I pull it back and lay this tear aid down nice and smooth, as long as I'm pretty close to my alignment marks, I am going to have plenty of repair material on all sides of the repair. You want at least a minimum of 1 inch, and I've got clearly that, and I wanted to stop right before this seam as I have this all taped down around the edges. So now I'm going to lay this patch on and get that placed in there, and then it will be ready to go and test, but shouldn't have a problem. So you can see that's how you trim and clean it, because all that is the problem in laying it down. But now that my plastic is in there, the tear will only stick to that and not to the opposite side of the bladder. All right, let's go put the patch on. All right, now you can see that we've got the patch material terrate is on here, and you can see that I don't have any bubbles around the edge. Everything is perfectly sealed from the center out. And now I have that plastic piece in there, so now it won't stick to the back side. And some people ask how I do that. Well, what I do is I fold back only half of it, and this stuff is very sticky. And I get control of that, holding it on that side, just on the edges, nice and smooth. And when you lay it down, you want to lay it down softly. Let it just sit there. Don't stretch the terrate at all. You want to let it just lay down naturally. Once you have this board all laid out, it'll go down, and then just work your way out from the center out. And then you're gonna peel the paper back more, relax so you're not stretching the terrate, and then lay it all down. Now that it's laid on, I'm gonna get a hair dryer, and I'm gonna warm it up just a little bit. That allows that adhesive to kind of bond into those micro, all of these have like a surface area we can't see, and it gets that adhesive locked in. And then that's it. And we're ready to finish closing it up, get it installed, and do an air test. And let's see if we can get some light in here so you can see the repair. It's kind of hard to see, but with the light anyway. It's totally ripped here, shredded out here, went around through the cell and back right in here. And now it's completely back, guaranteed warranty, guaranteed for the life of this kite. And that's how you want to fix Aluula. Get everybody back in the water, and it won't have any problem. Patch bladder, patch leading edge, ready to rock. Fixmykite, life repairs guaranteed for the life of the kite.